So if you look at the top of your skeleton notes, okay, these are the missing parts of this, okay? A reflection is the mirror. The mirror of a figure by flipping over an axis or a line of reflection. Okay? Now the first part of this is really simple. Okay? Think about this. Okay, if I'm looking into a mirror. Okay, yesterday, if I had this, let's say this was graphed. Okay? Yesterday when we did translation, it moved, but my thumb was still pointing the same direction, right? Okay? Even if I moved it down across this axis, it's still the same exact figure, right? But if this was a mirror, okay, what's it going to look like on the other side of the mirror?
Flipped.
It's going to look like this, right? Okay? So when you have a figure, like look at, where's my pen? Okay, so look at example 1. Okay, and that's example 1 on your notes, on your skeleton notes. Okay, here we go. If we look at this one, okay, this is reflecting over the x-axis. The x-axis is running where? Left to right or up and down? Left to right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole figure, okay, and if you read on your notes, what does it say when it says reflection over the x-axis? What's in parentheses? X is the same, Y is opposite, okay? So if we were to write these coordinates, okay, Q, R, S, and P, what are the coordinates of Q? -2, 0. What are the coordinates of R? 0, -3. What are the coordinates of S? -3, -3. And what are the coordinates of P? -3, -1. Okay. Now we can do this 2 different ways. Okay. I know if I'm reflecting over this axis, see how this figure, this quadrilateral, it's not really a triangle, it's pointing upwards. When I flip it over an x-axis, where should it be pointing? It's going to be pointing where? Down. Okay. So in other words, if I'm going over this axis, I can just say, well, this is going across the axis, so they're going to share this point. This is going to be my Q, but my P is over 1 and down 1, so instead of going over 1, down 1, I'm going to go over 1 and up 1. So this would be my new point. My S is over 1 and down 3. This is going to be over 1 and up how many? 3. So this should be my S that is reflected. And my new R is over 2 and down 3. So this would be over 2 and up 3. So this would be what? My R reflected, okay? And if I connect these, this should be the exact same figure just pointing downwards, okay? Now, if I chose to do this the other way and find the coordinates first, which you can do if you want to, okay, this is Q, this is R, this is S, and this is P. Okay, if I wrote down if you read the rule, all of the x's are the same, right? So these x's, all of these x values are going to stay exactly the same. So this is -2, this is 0, this is -3, and this is -3. But all my y values are going to be opposites. What's the opposite of 0? Still 0. What's the opposite of -3? 3. What's the opposite of -3? 3. What's the opposite of -1? 1. Okay? Now, if you were to look at these points, these would be the exact points that are on this one, okay? Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So, without spending a lot of time on this, because you don't have a lot of time left, that sounded like a death sentence, huh? We don't have a lot of time in class, okay? We don't have a lot of time left to do this. What should this look like? I'm not going to go through it. We're not reflecting over the x-axis, we're reflecting over what? The y-axis. So in this one, the x is opposite, and the y is the same. Now you can write all the coordinates. I'm not going to ask you to write the original coordinates today. I want you to write the reflected coordinates, reflected points. Did you hear that, Cosmo?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's going to look something like, wow, that was bad.
Something like that.
Something like that, okay? It's the same thing, it's just flopped over that y-axis, okay? Do you want me to actually do that one, or is that good enough for you to understand?
Good.
Okay. Now, here's where it gets confusing. Okay, so pay attention. All right. So when you see this next page, okay, all of these are easy because these are over an axis, okay? Axes are easy to reflect over. But what's different about this one, this doesn't go over an axis. This says refraction. This says refraction over across y equals 1. Okay, now here's what's tricky about this. When you see when you see y, you automatically think y-axis, don't you? Okay, but what that is saying, reflecting over a line that crosses y at 1. So what's the only way to cross y at 1? Can I cross y at 1 going this way? No. Can I cross, where is y at 1?
Right there.
Right here, okay? So if I'm going to reflect over y equals 1, my line of reflection is what this is called. My line of reflection is going to be right here, okay? So this figure is actually going to, it's not going to flop over here. Where's it going to flop to? Up here, okay? Does that make sense? Wherever you put the line, that's where it's going to cross. You ignore the axes now. The axes have nothing to do with this reflection anymore. Because of this, you have a line of reflection. Does that make sense? So this J, we're going to share a spot with J. So I'll do this one in blue. Now this K is over 1 and down 4. So this time I'm going to go over 1, but I'm going to go up 4. So this is K reflected. This is J reflected. Now where is this I? This I is over 3 up 2. So we're going to go over 3, but not up 2. We're going to go where? Down 2. So this is going to be my I reflected. And this H is over 3 up 1, down 1. So we're going to go over 3 up 1. This is going to be my H reflected. Okay, this looks a little bit tricky. But as long as I keep in mind that this is going to cross, the line of reflection is going to cross the y-axis at 1, it's going to be a horizontal line of reflection. Okay, so when I connect these, it should be that exact same figure. Okay, I just reflected it. Okay, see it's how it's reflected up to the top. Does that make sense what I did? Yeah. Yes? So what do you think is different about the next one? It's a reflection where here's what I want you to say when you say this. Line of reflection crosses x at -1. What's the only way I can cross x at -1? Is this -1 right here?
No.
That's y is -1. What's the only way to cross the x-axis at -1? Right here? Okay, so this is going to be what? My line of reflection. Now, am I worried about axes anymore?
No.
Don't even look at your axes. Okay? So I'm going to say, well, the U is going to be shared. That's my new U. And then this T is up 3 and back 1. So my new T is going to be what? Up 3 and over 1. And my new S is going to be up 2, back 2. So this is up 2 and over 2. And this should be the exact same figure, if I did it right, as the original. Okay? Does that make sense? You're not reflecting over an axis. I only put 2 like this on your worksheet. You're going to reflect over a line of reflection that crosses the axis at those points. Make sense? Yes, no, sort of? A little bit?
Sort of so.
Okay.